majority of people never shift the way that they look at themselves. And they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their new plans for change. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder and brand personality of WarriorBabe, where we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome, my friends, to episode number 23, where I'm going to dive into sharing with you guys 3 levels of progress, or like 3 levels of change, because I think it's so easy to repeat bad habits, and I'm sure you guys could agree, and it's so hard to form good ones. Like, even if you guys have this like sincere effort and like occasional bursts of motivation, it does feel difficult to keep good habits going for more than a few days. I think you can agree with me on that, right? Or like even a few weeks. Like, you guys are so excited to start something. You're so excited to get going. New Year's, for example. Where are you at with your New Year's resolutions? You have this burst of motivation, but it's so difficult to keep those types of habits that you're trying to start forming for more than a few days or more than a few weeks. And like, hats off to you if like, it's February and you're 2 months into your New Year's resolution and you're doing well. That's fucking awesome. But majority of you guys, I'm sure you've fallen off the bandwagon. All right. So, and like, why this happens is because y'all try to change the wrong thing. And that's what I'm going to talk about today in today's podcast with you guys. So I want you guys to consider that there are 3 levels at which change can occur, 3 levels at which progress can occur. And I want you to imagine them like layers of an onion, okay? And so the first layer, which is like the outside of the onion, and you're peeling it back, that's where you're changing your outcomes. So at this level is only concerned with changing your results, with losing weight, with winning a challenge, with changing your body composition. The list goes on. But like, most of all of the goals that you have, that you set, are associated with this level of change. So your goals are here. You want to lose weight, you want to lose fat, you want to win a challenge, you want to build muscle, you want to change your body composition. These are your goals. And this is what level they're associated with. Changing your outcomes. Okay, so that's the first layer. And we're peeling the onion a little bit more and we get to the second layer. And this is changing your process. So this level is concerned with changing your habits and your systems, like implementing a new gym routine, developing a reading practice, working on your sleep hygiene and developing that routine, plan your macros in advance. These are habits and systems that you're starting to put into place, and this is changing your process. So most of all the habits that you build are associated with this level. And then the third level, which is the layer deeper, it's like the core of the onion. It's the deepest level. This is changing your identity. And so this level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your self-image, your judgments about yourself and about others, your self-confidence, your can or can't do attitude. And the list goes on, guys. But most of these beliefs, these assumptions and biases that you hold are associated at this level. Okay. So the outcomes are what you get. That's the first layer. The processes are about what you do. That's the second layer. And then the identity is about what you believe. And that's the core. That's the third layer. When you're bawling your eyes out and you're at the core of the onion, you're cutting up the onion. Okay. So you guys got that, right? So hold those. Understand them. Outcomes are what you get. Processes are about what you do. Identity is about what you believe. Okay. And again, most of the goals that you set are associated with the first level of change, where it's changing your outcomes. Most of all of the habits that you build are associated with the second layer, which is changing your process. And I'm using layer and levels. You guys know what I'm saying here. And then the third one, the third layer, the third level is where all of your beliefs, assumptions, and biases are held. That's associated with that layer. So many people begin the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. And this leads to outcome-based habits. However, for the sake of this podcast, for the sake of your journey, for the sake of everything that you want to accomplish with changing your body composition, building muscle, and losing body fat, the alternative is to build an identity-based habit. Okay, so a lot of you guys just focus on what you want to achieve. You focus on outcome-based habits, where I want you to switch your mindset, have a mindset shift, and I want you to focus on identity-based habits. And with this approach, we can start by focusing on who we wish to become. And this concept that I talked about who you're wanting to become and who you're wishing to become and who you are working to become. I went deeper with that concept in episode number 4. So good, you guys. It's one of our top 5 podcasts. Definitely check it out. But most people don't even consider identity change when they set out to improve. They just think y'all think this. I want to be toned. I did too, right? I'm not saying it's just you guys. Me too at the beginning of my journey. Most people don't consider identity change when they set out to improve, but I want to accelerate your mindset right now. And I want to get you getting results faster and creating habits faster. So I'm making you aware of this process so you can just tenfold your system, your habits, and your results. So, because most people just think okay, I want to be toned. Right? I want to lose fat. That's an outcome. And if I stick to this diet, then I'll be toned. Then I'll lose fat. That's a process. The diet is a process. The wanting something to achieve something is outcome. And so a lot of people just set goals and determine the actions that they should take to achieve those goals without considering the beliefs that drive their actions. People never shift, or, I shouldn't say never, but majority of people never shift the way that they look at themselves. And they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their new plans for change. Right? Let that sink into you guys. A lot of people struggle to shift the way they look at themselves, and they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their new plans for change. So if you want to take on learning something that's going to help you lose body fat and build muscle, and you don't shift the way that you look at yourself, saying I can't, simple as this, I can or cannot do this. If you say that I can't do this, guess what? You won't. If you say I can do this and you take a look at yourself and you shift the way that you're looking at yourself and your perspective and what you're capable of, and shift your old identity away from can't to can, then you won't sabotage your new plans for change. But if you continue to say you can't, then you will sabotage because you're still stuck in this old identity. Behind every system of actions that you take are systems of beliefs. So whether you say that if you know that you have to take on this new action to do something like going to the gym, and you're still stuck in this system of belief of that I'm too busy, or I can't do this, or it's too hard, and you keep telling yourself this old story, well, guess what? The actions are going to match that belief, and you're not going to take the action. So behind every system of action, if you want supporting actions, you have to change the system of beliefs that you're telling yourself. So if you say that I can make this happen, I can go to the gym, I'm learning, I'm getting better, and you develop these stronger beliefs that are more supporting, guess what? You're going to take better supporting actions for your journey. You're going to show up. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to make it happen. You're going to learn. And these are new systems of actions because you've built a new system of beliefs for yourself. Okay. So you may want a toned and stronger body, but if you continue to prioritize comfort over accomplishment, you'll be drawn to lack of effort or relaxing rather than training and planning your nutrition better, you guys. Like I just said, old identity gets you stuck and will sabotage your new plans for change. Like if you want a stronger body and you want to build muscle, but you continue to prioritize, oh, I'm so tired, I just want to sit on the couch after work and don't make it to the gym over the accomplishment of that, you're just going to be drawn to the lack of your effort and relaxing rather than making shit happen and showing up for yourself and like planning your nutrition and doing the work. Okay. It's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. So for example, this is why people are forever on the hamster wheel of trying to lose the same 10 pounds over and over and over again. These people have a new goal, they have a new plan, but they didn't change who they were. They didn't realize and recognize that all of these new habits, processes, systems are really helping to change the identity and the beliefs that they have. And so in the time frame that they lost the 10 pounds, the habits and the systems, it changed the belief system that they have, but they didn't hold on to it. They didn't actually really truly change it. They didn't absorb and sink in that last level and layer of change because they're constantly repeating. Like I said, it's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. So just because they maybe did it in that short amount of time, they didn't change the underlying beliefs for a long period of time that led to their past behavior or that changed their past behavior. Okay, they're still stuck on this hamster wheel of like losing the same 10 pounds over and over and over again. Like the ultimate form of natural motivation, you guys, is when a habit becomes a part of your identity, that last layer of change. It's one thing to say, I'm the type of person who wants this. Like I'm the type of person who wants to go out for a run. I'm the type of person who wants to build muscle and get into the gym and start working out. I'm the type of person who I want to do this. And it's something very different to say, I'm the type of person who is this. Like, let me pull back and share a story with the beginning of my journey. Like, sure, at the beginning of my journey, I shared with you guys, like I was the type of person who wanted this. But as I constantly showed up for myself and I got what I wanted, which was the outcome, did what I had to do, which was the process, my core identity changed. Because as I became more consistent with it over time, my core identity changed to match the beliefs, the processes, the systems, the habits, everything that I've embedded for myself. I am now the type of person who is this. Like I did it. And I know you guys can do this too, but you have to work yourself through these 3 levels of change. You have to do it. Like if you know you're the person that's constantly stuck on this like hamster wheel, it's like, okay, now you're aware of the outcomes that you want and you're doing the processes, but like you paying more attention to the habits that you're doing that are getting you success and just making that a root core identity of yours. Because that's what natural motivation it comes from, when a habit becomes part of your identity. I was like, this is just my life. Like, this is just who I am, right? Working out, nutrition, no problem. I got it because it's a part of my identity at this point. Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get back to the show. And the more pride that you have in a particular aspect of your identity, you guys, like I hold a lot of just proud moments of my accomplishment, right? For what I've been able to do with changing my body composition through training and nutrition. And so it's just like, it's a part of my identity, like I said. And so the more motivated I will be to maintain the habits associated with that, right? Like let that sink in. Like, because, right, I'm so happy that I've accomplished all of these things and then I've gone through training and nutrition and now it's just a part of my identity. I'm more motivated to maintain the habits associated with that. Like I will never go back to where I was 8 years ago. I will never, ever, 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 ever lead that type of lifestyle because I have shifted my identity. I have built nutrition, training, health into my core root of who I am now. And I know you guys can do this too. You just have to walk through these 3 levels of change. And man, am I making it so aware right now for you guys to like, this is your self-awareness. This is your self-awareness podcast, my friends. Like I'm calling on these things to help you be able to start implementing faster. Okay, so you know all the things that have gotten you success in the past. Even if you're not there right now, you know that you did something for 3 months and you saw these amazing results. So what was it? What were the processes? What were the systems, right? I talked about this in, what episode was that? 2? Yeah. Where I want you to stop focusing on your goals and focus on your systems instead. That's a number 2 top podcast, guys. Go check that out. That's a really good one because it'll marry with this one. And all of this, you guys, is coming from an amazing book called Atomic Habits. Okay. I have read that book cover to backbone. I don't know what the saying is, multiple times. It's so good. And like where I can just repeat this stuff because now it's embedded in me and I can share it with you. But getting back to it. So I need you guys to understand this. True behavior change is identity change. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity, of who you are and who you wish to become. Anyone can convince themselves to visit the gym or eat healthy for a few days or a few weeks. But if you don't shift the belief behind that behavior, then it is so hard to stick to with long-term changes and for long-term changes. You guys, like at the beginning of the year, y'all convinced yourself to go to the gym. What happened? It lasted for a few weeks and a few days, maybe a month, because you didn't shift the belief behind the behavior. You're falling back into old patterns and old habits. And that is going to be hard to stick with for long-term changes. You have to shift the behavior. Understand that improvements are only temporary until they become part of who you are. So those things you did at the beginning of the year, the first couple of weeks, the month, that improvement is only temporary because it has to become a part of who you are. You have to get it to a point where, and this doesn't happen overnight. Let me just remind you of that. For all of y'all who I'm saying New Year's resolution, you fell off and you're a month in and you're realizing all these things and you're like, damn, this is me. You guys can still jump back on. Jump back on today. Jump back on tomorrow. Stop saying and waiting. I'm going to wait till Monday. I'm going to wait till a new month. Stop. Tomorrow's a new day. Do it. Jump on this. Make this effective into your lifestyle now. And because all the things that you do in terms of improvements, everything is just temporary until it becomes a part of your identity and a part of who you are. Until training, working out, health, nutrition, everything is just a part of who you are. And again, think about who you want to become. I said this in a recent podcast and I said this in episode 4. It's think to the future, guys. Be proactive about your health now because when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, what you do now matters. So you want to make this a part of who you are now because that's where shit becomes permanent. All right. And to wrap this up too, to wrap up this podcast, I hope you guys are enjoying it. What you do, you guys, is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are. So once you believe in a particular aspect of your identity, then you are more likely to act in alignment with that belief. So if you believe that you are fit, then you are going to act in alignment with that belief. You may not be fit right now, but you can just tell yourself, man, I am fit. I feel good, right? A positive affirmation attached with emotion to it. I am fit. I feel confident. I feel amazing. I feel healthy. Start telling yourself that now. You own your mind. Don't let your mind own you. You own your mind. You tell it how it should think, do all of the things. Okay? When your behavior and your identity are fully aligned, you guys, you are simply acting like the type of person you already believe yourself to be. And you have to program this thing, your mind. You have to program that thing to work in favor with you of who you want to become. So, for example, at the beginning of my journey, which is exactly the same, as your beginning journey too as well, or majority of you guys, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew nothing about nutrition or proper workouts to change my body composition or to build muscle. I shared this with you guys in episode number 1 of the podcast. However, I didn't want to maintain those behaviors and those actions. like not eating enough or wasting time in the gym, doing the wrong things. Like I didn't want to waste my time anymore. I knew those weren't behaviors that were aligned with who I wish to be and to become. So therefore, I pursued new understandings and new learnings that were in alignment with who I wished to become, what I wished to accomplish. And you can do this too, you guys. You can do this by checking out WarriorBabe. One of our programs is all education based. So you can learn the why behind every single action you are doing, with the habits you are creating, and how you can turn training and nutrition into your lifestyle. Everything that I'm talking about here, literally we have a whole mindset masterclass inside of our Blueprint program. And this is an educational course where you learn the why behind everything, like I just said. And these things I'm teaching you here right now are inside of our program, right? So it's a part of it, but like there's so many other things that are encompassed with the program that will help you to make this a part of your lifestyle. So check it out. The link is below this podcast. So like I said, like I pursued new understandings, new learnings that were in alignment with who I wish to become, because progress requires unlearning. Like all of the things that I was doing were not going to get me to where I wanted to be. So I had to unlearn all of those things, those bad habits, AKA my sugar addiction, running, signing up for marathons. Like who was that person? It's not who I wanted to become. And I didn't. I stopped. I unlearned all those things. I unlearned all those habits. And because becoming the best new version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and to expand your identity, you guys. So all I ask you guys from the outcome of this podcast is to steer away from outcomes of things that you want, work better, and become more self-aware of the processes that are what you do to get you into the deepest layer of changing your identity, which is what you believe. And that a lot, you guys, is embedding the habits that are getting you successful results, which is getting to the gym, getting to nutrition, but most importantly, the bottom of the iceberg that I always refer to, the discipline habits, your mindset, your willpower, your grit, your determination, those things in alignment with making nutrition a part of your identity, your health a part of your identity. Man, you make all of these things a part of your identity, you guys, you will be unstoppable. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast. I definitely did. I love speaking to this stuff. I could speak to this stuff all day long. I love mindset related tactics. So take it. All I ask that you do is you put this stuff into action, guys. Please don't just listen to the podcast and do nothing about it. Change something, because the more that you change something, the better you're going to get the results you want. All right. See you in the next episode, guys. Bye. Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.